Welcome, friends, it is I, LostScarf, and it's time for the short Smite beginner guide to Hun Batz. That's right, the silly monkey's here, it's time to play the silly monkey. So this guy, in my opinion, has the best ultimate in the game. It is a big AoE that interrupts an enemy team, wastes beads, causes a lot of things. It can turn the tide of a team fight instantly. It is a hell of an ultimate, and it is just a pain in the butt to deal with. So, we're going to talk about this monkey. As always for beginners, this is very much for you. We're going to go over some tips and combos, his abilities, just my opinion on how he can be played pretty well, purchases that you might want to consider, and of course conclusion on him. And that should be helpful in just how to play Hun Batz. For advanced and expert players, there might not be anything for you, but definitely put some comments that you feel I don't elaborate enough on some things, or some alternative ideas for Hun Batz as well. That should really help the beginners out. So let's get going. Hun Batz abilities. These are all very straightforward. First up is his passive Infused Strikes. So every time you use an ability, you have a 30% chance of critting if you use a basic attack within 3 seconds. So what's cool about this is you can use an ability, crit, use an ability, try to crit, use an ability, try to crit. That's an interesting thing you can deal with him. First ability, Somersault. This is a leap that deals damage and does 50% slow for 2 seconds. Can be useful as an escape or as an attack. Second ability, Overhand Smash. This is a large cone attack that you can actually aim a moment before you actually land the shot. Third ability, Sacred Monkey. Line attack that bounces 4 times. You can cast it again within 2 seconds to teleport to the last enemy you hit. That can be useful for just catching up or getting away from something if you use it correctly. And finally is Ultimate, Fear No Evil. This is a large AoE that deals damage and fears enemies. It is instantaneous. Because of this, it interrupts fights, can cause a whole lot of trouble for the enemy team, and can save your teammates' lives. It is a very useful ultimate. The implications of this ultimate are huge, just when you can use it and where you can use it and how helpful it can be. Class and roles. So Hun Batz is an assassin, which means he's got a lot of damage, but he's also got low HP and he's a physical melee god who's got some strong casting abilities. He's got a lot of good mobility and damage with his abilities, and he also has the potential to cause just everything going wrong for the enemy team because he's got the best ultimate in the game, in my opinion. It is an instant interrupt AoE ultimate, which just allows you to just do so much. It is a guaranteed beads waster, and has the potential to turn the tide of every battle. Now the beginner role position for the monkey is obviously in the jungle. You want to quickly clear the jungle as quickly as possible, get lane XP as fast as you can as well, and get to level 5 ASAP. The sooner you get there, the sooner you can use your ultimate. What's so great about your ultimate is you can get a lot of potential kills with it, or prevent enemy ganks. It's just very useful for that, or even just put a lot of pressure on an enemy lane really quick to help out a lane very nicely. And then you can just do this every 90 seconds, so you get cooldown to do it every 60 seconds. Very good ult. Now in team fights, what you want to do is just, you can steal objectives with this ultimate, you can secure objectives, you can turn every team fight into your team's advantage. It's just a really good ultimate. And even if your enemy team has beads to ignore your ult, it opens them up to your teammates' attacks, which is going to be really bad for them for sure. Tips and combos. Now this is mostly reiterating things I've already said. That is, you want to try to basic attack between abilities to maximize crits, but it's not always viable. You gotta do it when you feel is a good time to do it. Try to do it every single time, the enemy might just get away from you or kill you. But it is a good idea to try to do it at least. Next tip, leap can be useful for escapes or for slowing down targets. It's just useful there, just think about when you should do it one way or the other. Another tip, you can adjust your overhand smash before it lands. This is something that can be very useful because you can attack one way and then turn around and attack in a different direction, which can really surprise your enemies. Another is Sacred Monkey. Teleport can be useful for catching up or escaping. The idea here is you can hit an enemy god with it so you can get to them instantly so you can go ahead and attack them. Or you can put it on like a camp or something else so that the enemy's chasing you and then you teleport to that camp and then you get the hell out of there. It's a good way to confuse the enemy. And lastly is again the tips on Fear No Evil. It can be useful when objective stealing, objective securing, setting up kills, interrupting the enemy team if the fight's not going in your favor. It's just great for saving teammates' lives and ending enemy lives. It's just really, really good. Now, when it comes to combos, there's kind of 3 combos I want to talk about, and they are 3-2 ult, 1 ult 2-3, ult 2-3-1. Now, 3-2 ult is maybe more of a one-on-one kind of fight. You hit a target with the monkey, teleport to get closer, overhand smash, and then ultimate to finish them off if you need to. If you don't have enough time to kill them, that'll help you out do that. And you can consider doing basics between all of that. Second combo, 1 ult 2-3. This is jumping in, ultimate, overhand smash, monkey to chase or kill targets. This is just great for ganks and team fights. And again, basic attacks between there, wherever you feel you can do it, would be useful. And last combo is ult 2-3-1. This is for team fights and ganks again. If you're close enough to ult and you don't need to jump, then open with that, beat up the enemy with the rest of the combo, and save leap for escaping or to finish someone off. And again, basic attacks whenever you can. Usually you have enough time to do a basic attack after your ultimate because the enemy will be moving around. You can hit them with a basic, then go for the overhand smash, and then do the rest of your work. And you should be able to get some kills or at least cause a lot of damage for the enemy team, which will also just lead to your teammates getting kills as well. Purchases for Hun Batz. Now the thing about Hun Batz is you can build them a couple ways later on, but the early game, the general wisdom is cooldown and crits early game to take advantage of his ultimate and his passive. The sooner you get that, the sooner you're a threat in the game, just causing a lot of trouble as you go forward. Eventually you want to get power and pen for later on, so you can be a threat the entire game. Beads are a good active since the enemy will be trying to prevent you from using your ultimate as much as possible, so they'll try to lock you down. Other useful actives are Sprint to just get to places faster, Curse to slow down the enemy, and Beads to have surprise ults without using Escape. Very nice to do that stuff. In conclusion, Hun Batz is a very straightforward god to play. You get to a location, surprise scare the crap out of everyone, then pick off whoever you can. Then run away laughing and do it again a minute later. That's really what the monkey do. What's important is landing your shots, knowing when to basic attack, and knowing when and where to ult, and you'll be making your enemies go bananas. So there you go, that right there is the guide for Hun Batz. Up next is going to be Isis, and she's a lot of fun. She's one of the best mid-gods in the game. She can cause so much trouble the entire way through. She's a very good god to know, and that'll be a good guide to do next. Now, as always with these guides, it's important that you share these with your friends so they understand more gods. Understanding Hun Batz is very important because his ultimate is just so good, and it's just not a bad idea to play the monkey. He just can do a lot of good trouble to the enemy team, and knowing how to deal with him would also be helpful as well. So that right there is the guide for Hun Batz. I had fun making it, I hope you had fun watching it, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.